Hey, what's up, everyone? How you doing? It's yoga with me, Dave, and it's Thursday afternoon. It's 2:30. Look over. No, that shoulder. Look over that shoulder. It's there, not there. I've got my fire going today. Beautiful, right? I just said it's my Scandinavian influence today. It's a bit wet and cold and dreary outside, so I thought actually with the kind of like the trees and the kind of like branches going up the wall, does feel good, right? Feels nice in here. So wherever you found yourself, hopefully it's equally as pleasant and you found, a nice atmosphere. Because I think the space that you practice in, I think that's really important, right? Let me just do this to my camera. Hold on. Yeah, that's a bit better. Yeah, I think it's really important, kind of, if you can find a space to practice in, because I think what it does, it encourages you to get onto your mat. And a lot of us live in houses that are not that big. This is only a flat, but luckily I'm here on my own at the moment, and this is basically my living room. But I find moments where I'm here on my own, so then I can practice, and this feels a really nice place to practice at the moment. And if you've got a room in your house, if you're lucky enough to have a spare room, then use that as for your yoga practice, because I think it really encourages us to get onto our mat. And a nice tip that I was given when I first started my yoga practice was, for motivation, maybe just kind of roll your mat out the night before and kind of set a couple of things up that are kind of important to you, even like to the point where it's a little shrine. And then you're more, I guess, motivated to get onto your mat early in the mornings. And even if it's for 5 minutes, there's nothing wrong with that, right? In fact, 5 minutes is an amazing amount of time to practice. A little bit of breath awareness, a little bit of movement, and it kind of sets you up for the day, instead of just getting up straight away and kind of like losing the plot a little bit and getting stuck into email or going on social media. And our life ebbs away, and then it's another day gone by and you just think, what did I achieve today? Not a lot, which is okay, right? Because we all do that. I'm not judging anyone. I do that all the time. But I know when I practice yoga in the mornings, it feels a lot better, or in the afternoons at 2:30 with me. So welcome. Find a space for you to practice, and a physical space, and then that space within you, because I think with a regular steady practice, it can be a really beautiful thing to do. So we're going to start with a little bit of breath work today. So you can do that sat with me on the floor, or you can do it in a chair, whatever feels good. You're back against a wall. I really don't mind. Jackie's with us on Facebook today. If you're around and you want to give us a little shout out, then please do that. I'm going to go back just a little bit, and I've got this beautiful blanket. Louise is with us as well. Hello, Louise. How are you today? I hope you're doing all right. Thank you for joining us. And this is an online community where we all get to practice together, right? This is a nice shape. I can put my bottom on this and it just feels, number one, soft underneath my sit bones. And number two, just raises me up just a tiny bit. So you can see I've got my legs crossed. I let them fall down. But as I say, whatever feels good for you. And then let's just arrive into the space, physical space, and then our space within that I was just talking about a moment ago. Now, I like to close my eyes here. So you'll see me close my eyes, but you don't need to do that. And let's do this today. Let's do 90 seconds from now, just quiet and just finding our attention drift inwards. And then from here, just take a couple more rounds of breath. You might inhale through the nose. Maybe you exhale through the mouth. Just kind of release anything that you're probably holding on to. One more like that. Nice deep inhale through the nose. And a full exhale through your mouth. And then if you had your eyes closed, come with your eyes open. Welcome to Margaret as well. Thank you for joining, Margaret. Yeah, how was that? How did it feel? I think those moments of stillness and quiet, they can be quite eye-opening, right? Even though our eyes are closed, but it really brings your awareness in. And what I generally reflect on is that even though, sometimes my brain's busy and my life's busy and I'm doing stuff and, I feel like I'm really uncentered. I know that when I do that, I kind of know underneath all of the, disturbance and the busyness, there was always this kind of stillness and peace that resides, right? It's what we attach to, which is the stuff that can be very useful sometimes, but also can get in our way. So when we get moments where we just sit for a minute or two, then we just drop in. And sometimes that can feel a little bit like, whoa, my mind is so busy. And remember, when we're still, and it's kind of like a meditation practice, what we just did there. Even if you're noticing that your mind's very busy, that's meditation, right? We're not trying to completely quiet the mind. You might when you're a Zen master in 20, 30 years time. But, for someone like me and probably someone like you, it's just about finding moments of peace and not kind of overthinking any of this stuff. So thank you for joining me there. Why don't we lean back into our hands, and if you're with me on the floor, bring your legs out, just drop your legs a little side to side. We're going to stay seated for quite some time today. And remember, if you're in a chair, then you can do a lot of this stuff on a chair as well. I'm not teaching a chair yoga class, but a lot of this stuff can be done seated on something like a chair or a stool. See if you can come with your other chin in front and re-ground yourself down. And then let's do one movement and then we'll get into that breath work. So nice movement we sometimes do, just dropping our chin down towards our chest and then just rock your chin a little side to side, kind of freeing up the back of your neck. And then if you wanted to, you can, draw some circles, maybe pick a direction and guide the head around. I've got a little bit of a cold going on, so excuse me if I cough a little bit. It's moving through quite quickly from throat to nose, and now a little bit of a cough, but yeah, it ain't so bad. And maybe inhale up and exhale as the chin just falls down. Shoulders are relaxed, spine is long. And I was going to say there's no right or wrong way to do this. The wrong way probably is if you're hurting yourself, please be very cautious with your neck. You don't want to get to that point in, a few hours time where you're like, oh, I cricked my neck in yoga. There's nothing worse. Bring the head down to center and then swap it out, come back the other way. Nice and gentle. Maybe the first few rotations are super small and super slow, and then they might get a little bit bigger. Nice and relaxing the face. What I would like you to do is release anything. Release your tension. We don't want to build anything up here. Little tight my neck today. Maybe yours is too. Inhale, come back to center. Take a full exhale. One more movement through the head. Bring your right arm up. Bring your right hand onto your left ear. And then just draw your right ear down to your right shoulder. You're not pulling on the hand here. You're just using the arm as a kind of like a counterweight. And then for me, I feel this nice stretch down the right hand side, all the way down the side of my body into my armpit. My shoulder rolls back a little bit and my right ear is just surrendering down to my right shoulder. Super, super soft through the jaw. Breath flows in, breath flows out. Even relax that left shoulder down just a little bit. And then just swap it out. Come back to center. Bring the right hand down. Sweep the left arm up. Left hand over the right ear. Draw the ear down. And then, you might kind of move the chin backwards and forwards. Whatever feels good. Sitting tall. Breathing deeply here. And again, if exhales want to come through the mouth, go for it. Release, release, release. And then slowly come all the way back to center. Nice. And let's do 5-5-5 breath today. So it's a nice simple rhythm. We inhale through the nose for a count of 5. We hold the breath very gently at the top for a count of 5. Then we exhale through the nose for a count of 5. So inhale 5, pause for 5, exhale for 5. A little bit like box breathing, but we don't do the bottom hold. Okay, so it's inhale, pause, exhale, inhale, pause, exhale. Okay, you'll get into it. You'll understand it. And it's a lovely way to set the breath up. And we'll have a little chat about that in a moment. Sit nice and tall, however you are. Inhale through your nose for a count of 2, 3, 4, 5. Pause the breath at the top for 2, 3, 4, 5. And then exhale through the nose for 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pause, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale. Pause the breath. Exhale. Inhale. Pause. Exhale. Inhale. Hold the breath. Exhale. Inhale. Pause. Exhale. One more round together. Inhale. Pause. Exhale. And then just do a few more rounds in your own rhythm. Inhale, pause, exhale. Wherever you are, complete one more round. And then just let your breath come back to a nice steady rhythm. Notice what you're noticing. Draw your attention inwards if it's a little distracted. And notice what your breath feels like now. Notice how your physical body feels. And then if your eyes are closed, just gently come with your eyes open. Beautiful, everyone. Really nice. It's like nearly 15 minutes, so it's a third of the class, and we've done a little bit of movement. We've done a little bit of breath work, and it feels lovely. I feel really centered and grounded. There is something about the fire as well. I can see my fire in the background. There's something about kind of like those primal instincts, right? Fire. So yeah, hopefully that worked for you. And maybe just pick a few of those things and do 10 minutes of it in the morning. That breath, 5-5-5 breath, I think it's magic. And what it does, it sets the breath off in a very natural rhythm. And what it does, it sends all the right signals to the body. Breath is our primary source of nourishment. It's super important that we kind of tap into it from moment to moment. Not that we're always aware of our breath. We can't be, right? But when we're stressed and we feel overwhelmed, or, we feel tired, or on the other side, when we feel kind of like we're too up here, there's a breath for everything, right? The ultimate pharmacy within, a lot of it's within us, right? A lot of it we can do ourselves. So that's all about calming the mind. And, yeah, it's beautiful. That's yoga, right? I'm going to go back there. So if you want to move around a little bit, go for it. We're going to stay seated. So you probably will want to. We're going to go back towards the beautiful fire. I'm not going to use my blanket now. And what we'll do is we'll start with just a little twist like we normally do. So when you're ready, inhale, sweep your arms all the way up. And then as you exhale, let's twist to the left this time. I always go right, but now we're going left. It's because I want the fire the second time. Inhale to find length, and then exhale into your twist. Just moving like that. And you say moving, we're still. But they're tiny little movements, right? Every time I inhale, my spine lengthens. Every time I exhale, I just twist a little more, but not too much. One more round like that. Nice deep inhale. And a full exhale. Nice. Let's inhale, sweep our arms all the way up. And then as you exhale, just float the arms all the way down. Just a few times like this. Excuse me. Inhaling up. Exhale, bring the arms all the way down. 2 or 3 more like that. Inhaling up. Exhaling down. It always makes me laugh about how unbalanced my shoulders are when I do this. It's just the way I am. All right, this time inhale, sweep the arms up, and then exhale, twist towards the right. Right hand behind, left hand on the right knee. And then just breathe out here. A few rounds of breath. Nice deep inhales. A full releasing exhale. Sitting tall and noble. The spine is long, the shoulders are relaxed. Nice. Take one more round of breath. And then a full exhale. Inhale, bring the arms all the way back up. This time, clasp the hands, push them up towards the ceiling. Exhale, round your spine. We usually do this, don't we? Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to round. 2 more like that. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to round. Inhale one more time. And then exhale, unclasp the hands and then sweep them all the way down. Bring the hands onto your knees. If you want to, swap the shins out. And if you sat in a chair, you could do this in a chair as well, like you could have with all those twists. Hopefully you did. Hands on the knees and then just circle your torso around your hips. Pick a direction. I really don't mind which way you go, but commit to it. And then just breathe it out. Inhale forward, exhale as you round your spine. And like I say, sometimes the breath can be a little bit intentional, right? You can kind of tune into the breath and make the breath a little bit audible. So the kind of breath here now, we're beginning to energize the body a little bit more. We started where we've kind of grounded ourselves and we've got that nice gentle awareness of the breath. But now we're using that awareness just to build the energy up just a little bit. We're not going to go crazy or anything today, but you know, a lot of the stuff we'll do seated. So we kind of see our class today is sort of like 3 parts. Warm up, a little bit on the floor, a little bit of flow, and then the final part will be Shavasana. That's 4 parts, right? But we've got to include Shavasana. Inhale, come back to center. Take a full exhale with the spine long, and then just swap it out. Come back the other way. So I think this is a really good way to kind of keep the spine mobilized, to keep them kind of moving through the spine. You get some movement through the hips as well. It's simple, right? And if you do feel tight and you're doing this and you think, oh, I look like you, Dave, then you're kind of like this, right? Little movements. You think about your navel, you keep the spine long, you just kind of draw little movements from the navel center. Or maybe the movements a little deeper. You kind of bend into the elbow. I see some people kind of really like to slow it down and kind of bring the elbows right out. So there's different ways to do this. Stay nice and relaxed through your face. And then inhale, come all the way back to center. And then take a full exhale. Bring the palms so they're face up and then just pause. And we'll stay here for about 30 seconds. Maybe draw your attention inwards if it feels okay. Close your eyes. And just that idea, very gentle. Notice what you're noticing. If you had your eyes closed, then very gently come with your eyes open. And then from here, we're going to do a dynamic twist. So again, you might bring the legs out, you might lean back. You can do this seated as well. If you're in a seat, maybe give your legs a little shake out. Nice work, everyone. Beautiful so far. Let's bring the other shin in front if you can remember. And we sometimes do this stud. All you need to know is, that you've got enough wingspan that if you move side to side, you're not going to hit anything. Bring the right hand on the heart. Inhale, left arm to the left. Exhale, right arm to the right. Just checking this fire. Inhale, left. Exhale, right. And you can probably hear my breath. I'm inhaling and I'm exhaling as I go. Inhaling left, exhaling right. Twist from the navel. You just let the head go with the movement. So kind of the gaze just follows the back arm, fingertips. So the idea here is that we kind of like bring in a lot of energy into the body. Twisting is really good for us. It kind of wrings the spine out. It kind of gets the energy moving within the body. It's detoxifying as well. There's a lot of good research about twisting the body. It's just very good for, there's especially like 2:30 in the afternoon, moving on to nearly 3. It's a good time to do this, really good time, because we sometimes feel very tired in the afternoon. So bringing this energy in, it's a great thing to do. A couple more times on either side, and then inhale, come back to center. Let's do this. Place one hand on the heart, one hand on the belly, and take a really deep inhale. Pause the breath here at the top if it feels okay. Squeeze the belly up and then squeeze the belly in. Then exhale, let the breath go. One more like that. Nice deep inhale. And then take a full exhale. Beautiful. All right, let's stay nice and energized here. So we do side to side. Left hand will be down. You inhale your right arm all the way over to the left. Remember, this is not about how deep you can come down. As you exhale, bring the left arm over to the right. So inhale left, and then exhale to the right. Inhale to the left, and then exhale to the right. So you think about that fingertip connection all the way down to the earth. You feel that beautiful movement. And, if it feels too much in the arm, keep the arm really bent. And if it feels, like there's a strain here, then just back out a little bit, right? We're all very different. Our bodies work in different ways. Yoga is not all about flexibility and strength. It's just about awareness and being kind to yourself, right? A compassionate practice. So kind of accept where you are today if you can. It's not always easy. Inhale left, exhale right. Another minute here. Keep it going, 30 seconds to go. Three more either side. Whatever arm's lifted, exhale, bring it all the way down. Press your fingertips back down into your mat. Take a deep inhale. Take a full exhale. Come to lie down on your back, 1 minute Shavasana. We're going to come back to seated. But for now, you can have the feet bent, or the knees bent, I should say, and the knees bent like this, or you can bring the legs all the way down your mat. Just a brief Shavasana. Just let it all go. Let everything integrate into the body. Let the body catch up with all the amazing work you've done so far. Couple more rounds of breath. And then it's up to you how you come back. In fact, let's do this first of all. If your legs are long like mine, bend back in, and then we'll all meet just by hugging our knees in towards our belly. Go around the knees or the shins or the backs of the thighs and just rock it out a little bit. But I don't think we'll do any twists today from lying down supine twist, but let's just do a quick one now. So bring the soles of the feet on the floor, bring the arms out, in line with the shoulders, palms face up. Drop your knees over to the right. Take a couple of breaths here. Maybe look to the left. When you're ready, inhale, come back to center. Drop the knees over to the left. Maybe look over towards the right. Soften your shoulders down into the earth. Breathe it out. Inhale back to center, hug the knees back in towards your belly, and then maybe just rock and roll on the spine. If you don't like to do this, then just roll to one side. If you are doing this, do not roll back onto your head. Make it very gentle. Just rocking on the spine a few times, and then eventually coming back to seated. Nice work, everyone. I like that rocking and a rolling. Let's work a little bit through our shoulders. So the hands will be down. This is dead easy. Inhale up, exhale down. So it's that movement, but you really drop the shoulder blades down. And let's go for 90 seconds. All right. So as slow or as fast. I'll go quite fast, but if you want to do them slow or you want to do one at a time, go for it. Nice, powerful breath. And every exhale, you're releasing tension, right? You're letting it all go. If you want to do one at a time, that can feel quite nice. Kind of one at a time, or you slow it down. 20 seconds, wherever you are. If you want to find a focus, maybe in between the eyes, where the focus is, that's where the energy is going to rise, right? So we're thinking about energy to the crown of the head. When you're ready, inhale the shoulders up. And exhale, bringing the shoulders down. Bring the palms up. Maybe the thumb and the forefinger come together, and then just pause and breathe. Find this moment of stillness, right at the start of the class where we just sat. Let's do that again for one more minute, just in total silence. And from here, if you had your eyes closed, then very gently come with your eyes open. Beautiful work, everyone. All right, let's come on to all fours when you're ready. And we're just going to fall back into a child's pose just for a little bit of time. So if you want to bring something underneath your knees, go for it. I'm probably going to use this nice blanket just because it provides, number one, a little bit of warmth. And number two, it provides a little bit of comfort. So split the knees wide, sit bones back towards the heels, and then just settle down. Maybe you can always place your head on your hands and bring your forehead down onto the floor. And then just breathe deeply here. Maybe your deepest breaths of the class. Just soften the heart center down. These might be your kind of deepest breaths of the class so far. Just 2 or 3 more rounds of breath. And then very gently, slowly bring yourself back to all fours, or first time on all fours actually. Give the feet a little tap down into the mat, maybe stretch into your toes, and then just begin to move through a little bit of cat-cow. Inhale, drop your belly down, lift your head, lift your heart, and then as you exhale, round your spine. So just get into this lovely movement. As you exhale, you tuck the navel back towards your spine, you separate the shoulders. As you inhale, you drop your belly down, you lift your head, you lift your heart. So the movement brings in this beautiful arch and flex of the spine. Maybe 3 or 4 more rounds. Inhale, come back to center. And then as you exhale, with a neutral spine, now begin to draw some circles with the hips. So come forward and back, kind of circle it out. See how that feels. Maybe come back the other way a little bit. Beautiful, really nice. And then from here, we're going to do a little dynamic movement. So we'll be in and out of this pose. Excuse me. So what we're going to do, we're going to inhale, right leg back, left arm forward. So we're here. And then you exhale, you bring it down. Inhale, left leg back, right arm forward. You exhale down. So inhale to expand, exhale to contract to bring it down. So get into your rhythm. So you let the breath drive the movement. You might feel a little wobbly, that's okay. When you think about the center line of your body, generally you just kind of gaze down or you can gaze forward. Try not to move your head around too much. Inhale to expand, exhale to bring it down. Nice, everyone. Let's do 3 more on either side, probably raising your heartbeat somewhat. And then in exhale, come all the way back to center. Split the knees wide, come back into child's pose. Another 3 or 4 breaths here. Just let it all go. I'm quite warm now. A combination of fire, but also, I'm stoking my own fire, right? We call it tapas in yoga. Kind of like it's the heat that you create within your practice. And I feel kind of like there's a hum and a buzz of energy. I feel quite alive here. I feel quite energized, which is good. That's what I want to feel like. And then from here, bring yourself back to all fours. If you've got something under your knees like I have, give it a little fold or just move it off to one side, whatever it is. And then you're going to lift the hips and come into downward facing dog. We're only going to do probably 2 down dogs today. So lift the hips, come into down dog, and then because we took the energy and the kind of the effort to get here, then maybe, stay here for a little longer. Have a nice big bend in the knees, lengthen the knees, or lengthen the legs, bend the knees, kind of push back into the arms, lift the hips nice and high. And so you can have a generous bend in the knees, you can lift the toes, you maybe lift one foot, then the other foot,
play around with your first down dog. Down dog's not for you today. Stay in child's pose or just stay on all fours. And then from here, get nice and springy and then gently bring yourself to the top of your mat. So land your feet very wide, probably wider than you normally would. Grab opposite elbows and hang in a standing forward fold. See how much my knees are bent? I don't want to make my legs any longer than that because I want to fold in as much as I can. This is not about straight legs. It's about a decompression of your spine. It's about the torso being very heavy. And then you can think about your hamstrings later on. If you want to, right? Yoga is not about having long hamstrings. It's a byproduct of the practice, right? But it doesn't mean that you shouldn't do it if you are tight. Otherwise, lots of us would never get onto the mat. So accept where you are. And then root down through your feet. Inhale, come all the way up. And then exhale, hands to your heart. And I think I said a few weeks ago, the more I do yoga, the less interested I become about being strong and flexible and all of this stuff. It doesn't interest me. The movement, the actual movement is enough, right? This is enough. I'm not doing it because one day I'll be able to do X or Y. I'm doing it for this moment, in the moment, in the moment. All right. From here, hands to your heart. Inhale, sweep your arms all the way back up. Exhale, hinge and fold and come all the way down. And then what I'd like you to do is just lengthen your spine. But again, come up as high as feels good. I'm going to come up right up here. And you see my back? It's nice and long. Now, I have to do that because I'm a bit tight. Exhale, hands down, step back into plank. One plank today, so let's enjoy it. Press into the outer edges of your feet. Take an inhale and then find your plank. So, you know, if I'm here, it's a little bit... If I press into my feet, you see my tailbone tucks under. Here, tailbone's a bit high, press into my toes on my feet, and then I've got this lovely long straight line. Stay here for the rest of the class. Take one more round of breath. Exhale, drop your knees down, lower super slow. Keep the elbows tucked in. So the elbows track backwards. Your torso will eventually land on the floor. Soften the tops of the feet, scoop the chest forward and up and come into cobra. And then exhale, push the mat firmly away into your second and last downward facing dog. Breathe it out. Nice deep inhales and full exhales. One more like that. Deep inhale and a full exhale. We're going to step forward, final time. So you land your feet nice and light. It's as many steps as feels good. Inhale to re-lengthen your spine. Exhale to hinge and fold, and then root down through your feet. Inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, hands to your heart. Beautiful. And then just pause, hands at your heart, into Tadasana, feet lined up with the long edges of your mat. And you just pause and you just find your awareness back on your breath. Breathe. Really lovely work today, everyone. Let's finish with a flourish, a little bit of paint the aura. So this is your final release. You can have a bend in the knees. In fact, I would recommend a bend in the knees because if you do it with straight legs, you'll strain your back and you don't want to do that. Okay, so you inhale up, exhale now. Inhale, exhale. Inhale up, exhale to let it go. So I always think about inhaling positivity, exhaling anything I don't need. Three more. Inhale up, exhale down, sweep the arms nice and wide. And then just pause, maybe gaze at one spot. And then from here, come to lie down on your mats. So come to lie down. I'm just going to grab a little drink of water. Luckily, I have a tiny bit in this water bottle. Come to lie down. Hug your knees in towards your belly as you come to lie down. Make sure you're really comfortable here. Any final movements before we come into Shavasana? I'm going to use my blanket. I nearly fell asleep last week. I was so relaxed. I'm feeling relaxed now. This is our time. If I'm here in an hour's time, someone please turn the feed off. We're done. Bring the palms face up. Let the feet just fall open. And we just spend a couple of minutes here today, this afternoon. Let go of the breath, kind of the control of the breath. Just let the body breathe itself and let your bones and your muscles sink. I'll be quiet from here, a couple of minutes. And then from here, when you're ready, gently, slowly, just bring a little bit of movement back in. Maybe start with your fingers and your toes. And then your ankles and your wrists might kind of just circle out, and you can give yourself a really big stretch. Maybe a yawn comes quite naturally here. Bend the knees back in towards your belly one final time, maybe. Squeeze the knees in. And then just roll to one side very gently. And then come back to a seated position where we started the class just under 45 minutes ago. It's flown by today. And thank you for joining Pauline as well. All right, sit nice and tall. Bring your hands to your heart. Thank yourself for showing up. Notice the effects of your practice, and with a wholehearted bow, wish yourself well, wish everybody else well. Namaste. Thanks, you guys. Thank you so much for coming today. It's really nice to teach. I really enjoyed that. I needed it. So thank you for sharing your practice with me. I'll be back again next week. Any comments, put them on Facebook. Be happy to answer it. I might just go to sleep by my fire now, have a little snooze. I've got one more class to teach this evening. And then I'm off to London tomorrow, so that should be exciting. Anyway, have a good one, guys. It's good to see you all, and I will say goodbye. Namaste. Cheers, everyone. Bye now.